Okay, so I had a therapy appointment today, and on the way, I stopped by Mason District Police Station. Up until very recently, last time I asked, which is, I guess, probably about a month ago by now, maybe even less, I asked if Officer Brennan was going to be there. I asked on a Sunday, and they said he'd be there on Monday. Now, apparently, he doesn't work at that department anymore, which coincides with me announcing my intention to speak with him about his criminal complaint, which contains some false information, which is very important to the case. So I'm not going to go all paranoid schizophrenic at the moment and start being like it's a conspiracy, but I happen to know that there are already conspiracy components to other aspects of my cases in general. So I will just acknowledge that that's a possibility. And the woman at the desk, I left my number with her, and she said she would send him an email to get in contact with me. I don't know if he's going to or not. My guess is that he might be a bit avoidant of me, considering the factors involved here. But I also think it's really important that he understands, as an officer, if you're actually trying to do your job correctly, which these days I'm not sure how many of them are, you should probably be aware of when you make mistakes and how that impacts, the effectiveness of your job. So, anyway, that's all I'm trying to accomplish here. And obviously I have some other goals, such as obtaining some of the records that are missing from the case, and also getting my lab notebook back because it's my personal property. And the argument for keeping it isn't very strong. Although I can understand why they're keeping it to a certain degree. Anyway, I'm, generally, it's a good thing I'm going to therapy, and I've even scheduled an extra appointment, and I have other therapists as well. But, therapy only goes so far, and then the rest of it needs to be dealt with confronting the issue. And of course, I'm still upset about it. However, I know that the right way to approach this isn't to come in with accusations, and it's not to come in like, you shouldn't have done this, that, and the other. It's to start with the facts, which is that the criminal complaint contains inaccurate information, and the fact that it contains such wildly inaccurate information likely contributed to the way in which it was handled. I'll start there. And then the rest of it, the officer might not even have control over some of the rest of it. Some of the rest of it I'll probably have to do through the clerk's office and stuff like that, and I might not get any of the rest of my goals done. I might never even get to speak to Officer Brennan. I'm just pointing out that for some reason, he appears to have switched departments or locations in a fairly brief amount of time since I inquired, and since I've been announcing my intention to speak to him. That's all I'll say right now. In addition to, obviously, the other stuff that I just said. But anyway, I'm going to point out I'm extremely disheartened with the general sentiment of law enforcement these days. And while I'm acknowledging that things can change, I have a very pessimistic outlook on the intent and the methodology and ethics of most modern police enforcement. I'll put it that way. And I would like to see that change, and for my own mental health, I'm trying to confront the issue, not just cope with it. So that's my 2 cents on this situation right now. Make of it what you will.